it's Friday, 5th of... Is it Friday? Yeah, it's Friday the 5th of December. Just been and bought this because my old 230 grinder died on me today. It's just a cheap and cheerful one from Toolstation. I've had it a couple of years, so it's done quite a bit of work. But yeah, I'm trying to cut the top off this barrel spreader because I want to scrap the top and maybe do something with this chassis. And I got halfway around and it died. It sort of blew a load of black smoke came out of it and it tripped the electric off, and I've cleaned it all up, but it doesn't seem to want to go, so I just went and got another one, and this is basically the same thing. So it seems a little bit heavier than the other one, but it does the same job. 50 quid. So yeah, I was just trying to get the top of this barrel cut off, and then there is actually another axle to go on the back, and there is a brake setup as well as leaf springs. So I don't know, we're half thinking of making it into a trailer or something, but I don't know when we'll get round to it. But it's just one of them winter projects. And then I finished this trailer the other day. I parked it right against the hedge, but what I've done is welded some extensions on turrets basically, so it now pivots right up at the top. Just on some bolts at the moment, but so that's ready to go when we start moving muck, and I've patched it all up a bit as well. So yeah, that's what we're doing. It's been a lot of rain. I've been just started the sheep that we've got here on creep. Not creep, they're just on oats. And I've just been giving them a few every day, but as the grass is running out, I'm thinking that might just give it to them ad lib. So I've filled the creep feeder up, and we'll see how they go. I've took 2 to the butchers and they've come back really well. They look really good, so try and get the rest of them fat really, so they can be moved on. Other than that, yeah, not a lot going on really, just feeding and mucking out and spreading muck. I've just got a piece of gutter out because I need to make 2 end pieces to put the down pipes on for the gutters for the new egg packing shed. So I don't know if you can see, those are the 3 that we got when we took the greenhouse down, because there was 2 bays. There was only 2 bays of the frame. We only had 3 end pieces for the gutters, and we've used them there, so we need another 2 or maybe even 3 for the packing shed. So what I'm going to do is just cut some pieces off this, and then I've got to drill hole in holes in them, and try and put maybe like a 40 or 50 mil down pipe spout, and then weld a flat piece on the end, which will be your blank end for the gutter basically. So yeah, I was going to have a go at doing that. But yeah, we've run out of gas. Both the gas bottles on the MIG welders have both run out at the same time. When I was just finishing welding the A-frames, the joists on those trailer extensions, this one ran out. Me three phase one. That was pure argon, which we were trying to get used up. And so I switched over to this, which is a 5% argon mix, which welds blooming lovely, that stuff. But as soon as I started using that bottle ran out as well, so I had to actually finish the job with the arc welder. So yeah, I need to I've rung up this company who I got this bottle off, and they don't have any argon mixed, so I don't really want to bother going and taking the bottle back until they've got some in stock. So I might take this little one and see if I can swap it for a slightly bigger one. But yeah, it's dead easy. It's easy to get all the CO2. And to be honest, I think CO2 would work alright with this 3-phase welder, because there's loads of power in it. But having switched over from, I think CO2 will weld similar to the pure argon, to be honest. And having switched over from pure argon to the CO2 argon mix, it just makes such a nice weld in comparison. It's made me think I might just spend the extra money and get a full bottle of argon mix if you can get hold of it, because the places around us never seem to have any of it in stock. So I'm on. I need to go and get some more gas, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Well, I've upgraded my 10-litre bottle for a 20-litre bottle. So 10-litre bottle refills are 50 quid, 20-litre bottle refills are 70 quid. So it seems like a no-brainer. But that one's bigger again, so I'm assuming that one's a 30-litre bottle, but that's from a different company. So anyway, we've at least got one welder back up and running. So, and that's the 5% mix, so it should make some nice welds. Just took a tube out of that tyre, which is off the International tractor, pumped it up because it was flat. Pumped it up, can't find any holes in it. Dan's already fixed it twice and it's not been used since he fixed it, so we'll leave it overnight and see if it goes down. How annoying. This guy's obviously realised that he can't fit down this lake because there's some low-hanging trees, so he's just had to back all the way up. We've just stuck 2 bales in there. That's actually an old collecting yard for the milking parlour, which is further up here. And I can stick bales in there, and then when I need them I can just roll them out across the yard and then into through these doors. It's obviously not very clear to see because I've got 3 pens of cattle in this shed, and so it's all downhill really. It's easy to just roll them up, but I can only just, in the summer I put loads of bales in that collecting yard with the JCB because you can drive right in, but I can only just poke a couple of bales in with this loader tractor. But it's quite handy that I can do it, and I can do it just about with the pallet forks when I come to bring tubs of feed, which is what I've just done. Found it. Had to put it in water though. Tiny little hole. Just doing the annual brush off of the Dutch barn roof, where we've got a load of poplars leaning over, so this roof gets covered in leaves. So once all the leaves are finished, I normally just come up here once a year and just brush all the leaves off, just to try and prolong the life of the roof really, and I'll probably clean the gutters out 2 or 3 times a year, because otherwise it just ends up running down the back of the shed and rotting all the Yorkshire boards on the back. But yeah, it's already going dark. It's probably about 4 o'clock. I've trained the dog to keep the cattle back. There's just a tiny gap, probably like a 2-foot gap. That gate doesn't go all the way to the panel, and it's just a bit annoying because you have to bring a hurdle over if you want to do it on your own. But I think I've got the dog trained to keep them back now. He's pretty good. He's dead keen to do it. It's just getting him to figure out what you want him to do, which I think he's got it now. And I can just scrape this passageway out and chuck it into the spreader. Get him back! Get him back! Oh no, he's run off. Come by! Good lad. Well, after quite a dry weekend, well, we've had a spell of quite dry weather really, apart from the odd little shower. It's not stopped raining in the night all the way through to now. So yeah, we've got some puddles about us. I did go and empty the spreader this morning before it got too wet. I've done all the cattle jobs, but I don't know what. We've got a bit of an oil leak on the John Deere, which I'll explain now. I'm just going to grab my head torch. Dan had a bit of a disaster with the tractor the other day, so yeah, on Friday I went plucking turkeys, but Dan jumped in this tractor to move a trailer out of the way, and he got down to the bottom yard before he realised it was pouring oil out. He drove it back up here and left a trail of oil all the way up, but it seems like it's near enough drained the whole hydraulic system. So we think I haven't actually had a look yet. I'm about to have a look for the first time, but Dan thinks it's these two pipes which, when they go down underneath the cab, they've just got two Jubilee clips holding them on to a rubber hose. And we've had trouble with them leaking in the past, and the Jubilee clips just don't seem, whether the hose is a bit worn out and maybe they need new hoses, or whether they need some better clips, I don't know. I'm going to have a look now. But they're just pipes that take the oil to, I think, to an oil cooler and back, so they're not under a huge amount of pressure, but they just have a tendency to leak because well, they just keep coming off. So anyway, I'm going to have a look now. Hopefully we can get them reconnected and get some oil put in this tractor and then move it out the way, because I'm then hoping to got a couple of little jobs to do on this van, because I want to get it MOT'd and back on the road. This is the egg delivery van, so it needs a new front shock absorber and a couple of light bulbs, and then and maybe a windscreen, because there's a crack in the windscreen really annoyingly, which wouldn't be an MOT fail if it weren't for the fact that it was right in front of the driver. If it were on the other side of the windscreen, it wouldn't be a fail probably. But so yeah, a couple of little jobs to do with that. Probably a good day to do it while it's raining. Some indoor jobs. This thing also I bent. These are the pallet forks. I don't know whether you can tell, but they've bent, and so they don't. The Euro 8 brackets don't fit very well anymore. So we've got to somehow bend it back. I think what I've done is I've put the weight of the tractor on the forks, pushing down, and it's bent the brackets. They're obviously not man enough. I was hoping they would be man enough on their own, but we need to try and straighten it out and then weld a rib both sides to just make them a bit stronger. So that's another job that wants doing. So I've got the pipe back on. I'll see if I can show you quickly. It was the top one of those two rubber pipes, which funnily enough isn't the one that we normally have problems with. It's normally this one that's got the dual Jubilee clips on that keeps leaking, which is why it's got two Jubilee clips. But I think probably to solve the problem, both those hoses probably want replacing, but I'm not going to do that now. I'm going to turn the tractor on and see if that leaks. I got it back on and got it tightened back up, so we'll see. They're not very long pipes. They only come round to here somewhere, so wouldn't be the end of the world to change them, I don't think. But yeah, just a little bit annoying. Whole 20-litre drum of oil in, and it doesn't seem to be leaking. So hopefully that'll be okay for now. I'm a bit reluctant to put any more in, because I probably need to put 3 of those in to bring it up to the dipstick line. But I'm a bit wary, because that's a fair bit of money to pour all over the floor if it does go again. But hopefully I'll be able to use it now anyway. So I've replaced that shock absorber, which was reasonably straightforward, and then we've while we had the wheel off, we had a look at the brake discs, and one side is completely worn out, so we thought we're probably going to have to put a new set of discs on as well before we take it for an MOT. So these have just turned up, and then we've got 2 bushes. One of the bushes is rattling a bit on the anti-roll bar, so they came as a pair, so might try and do that as well. So we managed to straighten it out. We had to put a bit of weight on the JCB. We took the pallet forks off this, sat it on 2 blocks of wood outside, and then we put some, well, we tried pushing it down with the JCB, but it wasn't heavy enough, so we put 2 bales on the spikes, and then we pushed it down here, and we've got it straight, well, a lot straighter than it was, so that it actually fits. We put it back on the headstock and it fits now. So we've just brought it in the workshop to, well, we've got to weld some heavy plate onto it as a rib. So that's a bit overkill, but we'll probably have to cut this down, which will be a bit of a job in itself, because it takes quite time consuming cutting that 20mm plate. But these bits of plate did originally come off this bracket. They were there when it was back when it was a JCB. Was it like a loading shovel JCB, do you think? Can't remember what the brackets look like now.
Might just be in Q-fit or something.
It might have been. Yeah, we cut these brackets off, and then I used the brackets to make the adapter plate, which adapted between the JCB. Well, no, it adapted so that we could use the tractor headstock with the JCB implements. That was it. So these are just bits that were left that I never used. So they'll do the job anyway. Well, I'm just glad that we got it bent straight, because it wasn't fitting onto the headstock properly. So yeah, anyway, that's the end of this video. It's the middle of December now. It'll be Christmas in another week. Dan still hasn't finished his cider press.
Oh, it is fitting.
This is as far as it's got. What else do you need to do with it?
Well, I'm thinking I might have to actually cut it shorter to get the apples in.
Can't.
The gap's a bit too small.
Well, that's the gap.
Yeah.
Bit of a design fault, that.
It is, yeah.
Some parts of it are really over-engineered, and other parts of it not so much. This just is a hanging ball joint on the end of that screw. But I think all the apples will be rotten by the time we finish it, won't they?
Yeah.
And then you need some sort of catch tray underneath to catch all the juice.
Well, I was going to use a sink.
Or a sink. Yeah, we have got a few old sinks. So yeah, that's all that's been going on. Still haven't cut this thing off. I've gone halfway around it and realised that it won't cut off as easy as I thought, so I need to flip the whole thing over and cut along this plate. I need to cut along there, and then the whole tub will just come off, and I'll be left with a flat plate if I did want to make something out of it. So yeah, the van's nearly ready to go for an MOT. It's got new brake pads, new anti-roll bushes, we fixed that light bulb, and what else? Oh, the windscreen. We priced up a windscreen, but it's absolutely ridiculous, so we're going to just take it for an MOT and see if it fails before we speak to the insurance company. Anyway, thanks for watching this one. Bye for now. Forgot to mention this, we had our roof has turned up for the packing shed, so that's going to be the next job. This is obviously just brackets and flashings. The roof sheets are down on another pallet, but these are the brackets that are going to go in between the 2 roof sheets to hold them apart, and then we're going to put insulation in between. So that's going to be the next job. Hopefully we'll make some sort of progress on the packing shed before Christmas, but we'll see.